I made a video a few days ago talking about bracelets, one of Uncle Seiko's bracelets. And in that video, I talked about another bracelet I suggested that Larry and Uncle Seiko perhaps consider recreating because they're so cool. A lot of people have asked me about that bracelet, so I was like, rather than answer everybody individually, I would just talk about it. Seiko, when they created the 754X movement, which was a version, it was a version of the 6309 movement. They basically took the 6309 movement and they quartzified it. The front calendar section of the movement is the same as the 6309. The movement profile is the same. The cases are identical. They all swap over. What they wanted, their idea, was to have a hyper accurate movement for their dive watches. They wanted to make sure that they had the best of the best of the best for these high-end watches. 7549, 7010, 7549, 7009, Golden Tuna. So they put a lot of effort and a lot of time to make the highest end divers they were making at that time have the best possible movement, the best possible, most accurate, most reliable movement. And so they created the 754X. Those were 7549s. This is a 7548. The differences between the two are differences in the size of the hour hand and the cannon pinion and the day wheel. Relatively speaking, minor stuff, mostly to carry the larger hands. It's all about torque, so that the movement can move these hands around. Anyway, Seiko was so proud of this movement, which, by the way, is fantastic. That would be one of the greatest quartz movements ever made, that they created a special kind of bracelet just for these watches. This watch is complete and original to itself. This watch it still has the remains of its case back sticker. This is the Z199 bracelet. Unlike most of the other kind of bracelets that Seiko ever made, which were hollow link, this one is solid stainless steel. Every single link is solid stainless steel. The links are screwed together. There's no stupid pin and collar system. There's no split pin system. It's literally it's a screw. It screws these things together. They are very, very cool. They did make a slightly later version because these were expensive to make. They made a sort of a second gen version for the 7C divers when those came out in 1986. The only real difference is that the little triple N links in the middle, those were hollow, versus here they were all solid. This bracelet, this later bracelet, goodness gracious, that's just as rare as anything. Almost never seen. Most people don't even know they exist. I think the advantage for Seiko is they were probably a little less expensive to produce, but it also means the bracelet's actually slightly lighter, which is cool. There are the end pieces there that fit through these end pieces here, solid stainless steel, and they're cut big for the fat spring bar. One of the things that's cool about these bracelets, I had thought for a while actually that they were basically just like a standard SKX Jubilee, but just different. I mean, in terms of their finish. But I just got one out for fun. This is a standard SKX 007 Jubilee, and this is the 799, or it's the Z199. You can see the profile on the bracelet is much higher. Oops. Higher and rounder, and the links are actually shorter. So you can see that they have a different profile. They're similar only in sort of the concept, not in the execution. There's many fine details on this piece that the later Jubilees simply don't have. It's got some really fine details. Like, look at this tiny little bevel here. Seiko put so much work and care into these, and they're very, very hard to find. They're very hard to find. More and more people know about them, and you just don't see them. And they are unusually for a Seiko bracelet, because they're solid stainless steel, they're unusually durable. So you'd think more of them would have survived, but I just don't see them very often. So anyway, Larry is now doing work to try to recreate these. It's literally, it's in the preliminary stages. So I don't know how long that's really going to take it for him to get that done, but that's what they look like. They're so awesome. I hope everybody gets a chance someday to see one if you're interested, because they really are. They're the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest bracelet that Seiko ever made for a watch that they considered their top of the line. The Seiko 754X, in this case 7548. Fantastic. Okay, I just want to talk about the Z199s. Cool bracelets. Okay, thank you.